What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. First, apologize about my voice today. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Been sick all week, all weekend. Anyways, it is what it is. We've got something to talk about today, and that is a brand new XP method that if you're looking at this screen, seeing a dirt bike, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because the money method that I put out a few days ago happens to also be really good for XP. I'll go over the path for the method just really quickly before I get into what I really want to talk about in this video, and that is the fact that I think this is going to be patched like today, like later tonight when the summit goes live. I think they're going to be patching all of this stuff because the amount of XP and money you're getting for this event is so much better than anything else in the game. It just feels like out of whack with their whole strategy. They want to be able to have things be pretty equal in terms of making money. So with that said, let's talk about a couple of things. So this method is the race called the Queen, which just came out this week with the Red Bull Wild Ride playlist. It's the second race in here. In order to get access to this on custom mode, you need to finish the playlist and make sure you're doing that. This particular method requires you to use a dirt bike, because when you use a dirt bike, you have less objectives inside this race and you can do it faster, but you still get the same amount of reward. So with this said, there are ways to increase your XP. I'm just going to talk about it from my own perspective, which my difficulty bonus is only at 7. I do have some assists on here that we could turn off and watch the difficulty go up. You can also turn the event difficulty on 5 of 5, which give you 23%, which really, you know, doesn't matter too much because it doesn't actually change the number of things that you actually have to do. It only changes the amount of time that you have to do it, and you're going to be doing it way faster than that amount of time anyway, so it's not a big deal. All right, real quick before I get into the method itself, I just want to address something. If you watch my money guide, you notice that the route I'm about to show you is slightly different than what I showed you in the money guide, and that's because I was able to get in touch with Tomko, who has an insane time on this race. If you look at his leaderboard here, he's like up here near the top at number 2 with a 47. So he's taken the time to really optimize this run, and he showed me a method that he posted on his YouTube channel, which I think he's even optimized even more. But that method is what led to what I'm about to show you. So we have that plus a couple of little things that I did to sort of try to optimize it. I'm sitting right now at a 48.4 right now, so I still have a little bit to go in terms of optimization, but he's looking at a 47.1. I'm at a 48, so over a second faster. There's lots of ways to optimize this. Either way, listen, if you're going to do it around 50 seconds or less, you're getting a lot of money and a lot of XP. That's basically what I'm going to tell you. So all right, here is the method. So at the beginning, just go ahead and flip your bike around and head back this way. You're going to go towards the wall ride with targets in it. Go through the trees here. You should get your first jump going through these trees there. Then the second jump there, you'll get your wall ride here, and then jump off of this, flip it around, get another jump there, hit the targets, you get another jump there, target. All right, last jump. Save your NOS for the ending. And then get your targets. And you're off. And it should be a 49 or a 50. Yeah, 49.4. Like I said, my fastest is a 48. So you can do it under 50. Just doing what I just did, which is not even like super optimized, you can get yourself close to 50. Anyways, I'll calculate numbers based off of 50, but let's take a look at what this actually gets you, because that's what I'm more concerned with. The base XP, watch when it pops up, is 20,000 XP. That's your base. Everything that's calculated on top of that is your bonuses, and it really depends on, you know, your difficulty settings, whether or not this is a main stage event or car. You don't get any bonus for that right now because motorcycles are not necessarily main stage this week. And then your XP and affixes, which have everything to do with your parts. So let's take a look and try to break it down here. So we've got the motorcycle here with the parts XP magnet, which gives you an additional 25% XP. I've got legend at 4% on all of them, which adds up to 28%. That gives you 28%. Then as far as your legend points go, that will give you the remainder of that 73% affix bonus. Legend points, I've got it in the legend category times 20. That gives you another 20% there. So again, you have 20% for your legend points. You've got an extra 28%. That's 48 for your affixes, and then an additional 25%, which puts you up at 73 for your XP magnet set. So if you have all of those things, you'll be getting the max amount of XP. Then obviously it depends on your difficulty bonus. That's just totally up to whatever your settings are. You can maximize that, drive in first person, turn NOS off, whatever you want to do. But to be honest with you, I would just drive it the way you drive it. You're going to get a ton of XP here. How this is calculated is you've got the base amount right here. I have some other categories that are not really applicable to this one. If we scroll over, you got your legend points affix values at 0.73. They give you the bonus there. Category and main stage bonus are not applicable here. Then you've got your difficulty bonus, which I have it calculated at 7%. That's my personal difficulty bonus. Pause for just 1 second. This is trigger in editing. I just realized that 7% was actually way low. I was at 7% for difficulty 1, but if you raise it up to difficulty 5, you notice that it's at 23% without changing any of my assists. So 23% is a much more accurate calculation, and that actually leads to 2.138 million per hour, so well over 2 million XP per hour. And that's just something I wanted to correct myself here before I let the rest of this video go. So anyway, back to my explanation. And then this column is the total that you're going to get per run. So it's around 36,000. And then the total per minute, because of the amount of time it takes, is around 32,727. And that's what's used to calculate the per hour amount, which is 1.93. So everything here is just calculated out based on the amount of time it takes and the base number and what bonuses you're getting. I've done this basically for everything in like all the XP and all the money categories. This is how I usually take a look at everything. You can see the other methods too. You have 858,000 for Hummer Express. This is why right here, this is going to get patched. This is a million more than Hummer Express per hour. And that's not their intention. They don't want to double the amount of XP you get just on one singular event. The reason they don't want to do this, and the reason I think it's going to be patched, is because this is not in line with the rest of their game. They don't want people to just do one thing over and over again, because that becomes boring and it becomes monotonous and becomes sort of something that there's no joy in actually taking part in the game. So although I feel like the community is going to react to the nerf as a negative, like, wow, why can't we just have one thing that, you know, does well? But the reality is they want you to play the game and not worry about grinding certain things. If the economy is a problem in the game, if it's taking too long to earn certain things, then they need to do across the board buff. They can't just have one event that's making double the amount of money and double the amount of XP and then expect the game to just become fun all of a sudden. The thing is, the people who are struggling with money and XP, it's because they don't have enough time to play the game to actually gain the amount of money to buy the things that they want to buy. And then that's something that the devs have to look at and say, is this actually a problem for the majority of players? What's the average play time? There's a lot of metrics they can look at to really figure out if that's a problem, or if it's a problem that only like a small select few actually have, which is not enough money. I fully expect this to get nerfed actually tonight, probably either with a maintenance or some sort of server side patch. They could probably do it without actually even changing anything in here. They'll just change the amount. My guess is they'll just change the base amounts for XP and bucks. Last time there was an event like this that actually did really well on XP and money, they just reduced it a little. The miscalculation by them, I think, is because they thought that people would be actually doing this event the way it's meant to be played, which is in a circle. You're supposed to just take the route and go through the checkpoints, but because there's no penalty for going through the checkpoints, you can just do this. You can turn around and just, you know, do the event really quickly. They thought this was going to take more like 3-4 minutes to complete. In fact, you can tell because when you go to this event and you go to the event settings, if you have it on the lowest difficulty, it says beat 7 minutes and 55 seconds. They expected people on the lowest difficulty to do almost 8 minutes on this event, which you can clearly do under a minute very easily. Even the hardest difficulty is 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And so they were thinking on the hardest difficulty, you make 24,000 XP and 37,000 bucks. That makes sense. That's in line with everything else around the 3-minute time. Like if you go to riding in my Buick, these are exactly the numbers that they had. If you look at the XP and buck, it's almost similar to this, and they were expecting the same type of finishing time. So this one, if you look at the world records for the custom mode, AGP probably is going to have the best time. You're looking at just under 3 minutes. This is the world record, so people are not doing this all the time, but you're looking at the world record is under 3 minutes, and the XP and bucks are just under what we would get for the queen. So it's obviously there's a formula they have based on the amount of time it's going to take. And I don't think anyone in the studio actually tried to cheese that event, But as soon as the community got their hands on it, obviously it was in the summit, so we're attempting to cheese it right away, and we've realized that that's the case. And you look at the amount you can make and it's like, wow, that's a lot of money per hour. So anyways, this is sort of it with this method. You can make really close to 2 million XP per hour. If you're like world record pace, obviously you're going to be closer, but it's a pretty solid 1.8 1.9 million, and I'm pretty sure most people are going to miss it. So actually I'm just going to add a pinned comment. So do me a favor, check the comments and take a look to see if this was actually patched or not. I think it will be eventually, and even if it is patched, it might still be the best method. So I'll update you guys if that's the case on both the money and XP side. But for right now, today, this is the best method, and it's best by a mile. It's like 2 times as good as anything else. So anyways, I know my brain is really foggy right now, and this could just be me speaking just because I'm speaking. Like, I'm literally on medicine and still not feeling great. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.